Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, today we are going to talk from the point where we have left, and the point was very important point we are going to discuss today. It will be very, very important because we are going to talk about perquisites in the form of medical facility and educational, rent-free accommodation. Accommodation. Okay, so already I've touched upon these points, but I am just recapping it. So medical facility provided by the employer to the employee can be of two types. Okay, one is medical facility within India and medical facility outside India. Means if there is a critical illness, then the employer, the employee, sorry, his spouse, his son, his daughter, dependents are going abroad for treatment. So let's see what is the value of the perquisite. In case of medical facility made available by the employer to the employee and the medical facility is in India, then the first case is hospital owned and maintained by the employer. If the treatment is at a place where the hospital is owned, maintained, managed by the employer, then nothing is taxable. Please remember it. जैसे कि आप बीमार पड़े, आप टाटा मोटर्स में काम कर रहे हो और बीमार पड़े और इलाज के लिए उनके हॉस्पिटल में जा रहे हो और उधर इलाज करा रहे हो, so nothing is taxable because the rule says that if you are getting your treatment in a hospital which belongs, which is owned and maintained by the employer, there is no value to the perquisite. The value of the perquisite is nil and nothing is taxable. Number one. Number two is if you are if the employee is ill and is going to government hospital for medical treatment and the medical bill is reimbursed by the employer, then in such a case the value of the perquisite is nil. In such a case also the value of the perquisite is nil and nothing is taxable. Now you can ask me a question, why? Because he is getting his treatment from government and government will not tax the employee because already the government has got money from the employee through the employer, so nothing is taxable. The value of the perquisite is zero. Means for example the treatment was the employee underwent an treatment of 1,50,000 rupees in medical in government hospital, and this particular medical bill was paid by the employer. So already the government has got 1,50,000 rupees of worth of money from the employer, even though the treatment was of the employee. So the value of the perquisite is zero in the hands of the employee, and this can be shown on the debit side of profit and loss account of the employer as an expenditure, and the government is getting money, nothing is taxable. The value of the perquisite in the hands of the employees is zero. Please remember it. Next, next one is private hospital. Now, either I will get it, either the employee will get medical treatment at a hospital which belongs to the employer, sorry, number one, or government hospital, or for the third case, it can be a private hospital, like for example, Apollo Hospital, or Jahangir Hospital, or Sancheti Hospital, or Ruby Hospital. There I go, the employee goes and he gets treatment. He stays in the hospital for 15 days, and then he's getting medical treatment. Now there are options here also. If recommended by the government for treatment of its employee, if the government recommends that yes, this particular treatment can be done only in a particular hospital, as the disease is a specified disease, it can't be cured in any other hospital, go and get it checked in the private hospital and then nominate a hospital, then in such a case also the value of the perquisite is in such a case also the value of the perquisite. For example, in this case what has happened is, for example, in this case the employer tells the employee to get checked in a private hospital as suggested by the government and because of a specified disease. So if he gets a treatment in private hospital for this particular case where the government recommends to get it in a private hospital, and for a prescribed disease that the disease is to be cured only in private hospital, then whatsoever amount is incurred for the treatment of the employee, and if it is reimbursed by the employer, nothing is taxable. For example, Mr. X is there and he is recommended to get treatment in Jahangir Hospital, a Jahangir Hospital. Who is recommending it? It is the government hospital which is recommending it. So he goes to government Jahangir Hospital, and he gets uh, treatment. He gets treatment over that place. He gets a treatment over the place, and the treatment is some 5 lakh rupees. 5 lakh rupees. So in such a case, if this 5 lakhs is reimbursed by the employer to Jahangir Hospital, as this is a case of falling under the category of C and D, the value of the perquisite is 0 or nil, and nothing is taxable. Remember this. This is very, very important. Now, next one. Now, in other cases, if you are getting, if the employee is getting in other cases treatment in private hospital, where, for example, the government has not recommended the employee to go to private hospital, or there is no specific prescribed disease. So in such a case, if the employee is going to a private hospital and is spending for his treatment some 5 lakh rupees, and this is reimbursed by the employer, then this is falling under the fifth category. In the fifth category, this is E category, which states that if the medical bill of the employee is reimbursed by the employer, and the medical treatment is in a private hospital or a private clinic, up to 15,000 rupees for the full year is exempted. Up to 15,000 rupees is exempted. 15,000 rupees ka exemption milega over and above it. The value of the perquisite is equivalent to the difference between over and above 15,000 rupees. So in this case, 4,85,000 will be the value of the perquisite, and it is fully taxable. This is an exception. If you are getting treatment in a private hospital and the disease is not specified or recommended by the government to get in a private private clinic or private hospital, then in such a case, for the full year, you can get a treatment from a private hospital up to 15,000 rupees. Over and above, it is the value of the perquisite is full, and it is fully taxable. So in this case, it was 4,85,000 rupees. Next one. Now look at the here I have written here. Any other facility in India, for example, family doctor, it is fully taxable. It is fully taxable. Family doctor say agar by chance he gets a treatment, then it is fully taxable. Private clinics up to 15,000 rupees is exempted from tax. Maybe there is a change in this particular thing. I will notify if there is any specific notification. I will go through the law and let you know. But as of now, and from my previous knowledge, up to 15,000 rupees for the full year is exempted. Now, next one is if you are getting, if the employee is getting medical treatment, and the medical treatment is in is not in India, it is outside India. For example, people go to America to get treatment for heart or for a specified disease. Okay, so what is happening because of this? Our foreign exchange reserves are depleting, or our rupee is going outside, or the dollar is dollar we have to purchase. So whenever there is a foreign exchange going outside or coming inside, RBI comes into picture. RBI comes into picture. So, for example, they have taken the recommendation of an American hospital, and the American hospital has told that we will cure a particular that disease of cancer or heart, etc., etc. And for this, we are going to charge $1 lakh. $1 lakh. So $1 lakh in today's time, when the dollar is 75 rupees per dollar, when rupee is equal to 75 rupees, so 75 lakh rupees is the money which is going outside. That is $1 lakh is going outside. So you have to first and foremost take permission from RBI. Then only it is allowed. Else it is not allowed. So permission of RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, in case when the employee is getting his medical treatment in at abroad or outside India or in a foreign country, then you have to take the permission. That fellow has to take the permission from RBI. Let's see one by one. Now let's see the points one by one. Very, very important. Type of expenditure, because there are different types of expenditure under this medical facility also. So what are these? Medical treatment in abroad. Medical treatment in abroad exempted to the extent permitted by the RBI, and taxable perquisite is equal to amount exceeding the amount permitted by RBI. Now I will give a small example. With this you will understand. Please remember, these are very, very important. The first chapter is very lengthy. and long chapter. Probably it will take another 4 classes. Okay. Now, this employer who is working in Tata Motors, Mr. X, has got a disease, and for this he has consulted if hospital which is there in America, and they told that they are going to charge for this particular disease $1 lakh, $1 lakh. Okay. Now, before he goes to America and gets treatment, he will have to go to RBI for claiming exemption of this 1 lakh rupees if it is subsequently reimbursed by the employer. So he goes to the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, he puts an application form, and RBI says that, okay, go ahead and get treatment. And we are telling that this is full amount is exempted. This is the maximum amount we are giving. This is the maximum amount we are permitting you to spend for your medical treatment. Now, what has happened subsequently? It was found that some more expenditure was incurred, and for medical treatment, $1,50,000 were incurred. And this particular amount of $1,50,000 converted into Indian currency was subsequently reimbursed by the employer to the hospital belonging to the employee, to the foreign country. So in such a case, what has happened? The permission you got from RBI was $1 lakh, but you have spent $1,50,000. So this $50,000 converted into rupee, that is 75 rupees per dollar. So roughly around some 30 lakhs or something like that is going to be the value of the perquisite, and which is fully taxable. And this is fully taxable. Hope you have understood it. All these particular but my discussions with you are going to be put on YouTube. You can download and you can view and get clarification if at all, if you are not understanding, because you have to keep on listening to the videos on income tax. So medical treatment, first point is over. Now, when you are going for medical treatment into a foreign country, then there are some incidental expenditure or additional expenditures which are incurred. Additional expenditures are incurred. For example, there you have to stay. There you have to go for this. There are flight charges to and fro, and you can't go alone because you are not well. So you will take somebody with you also. So many expenditures are incurred. Like for example, traveling expenditures are incurred, stay expenditure is incurred, and you can't go alone. You have to take somebody with you because of your medical condition. So this expenditure not only for you, for the other person with whom you are going also are incurred, and maybe it may be reimbursed. So in such a case, we will find out what is the value of the perquisite. Look at the next point. Look at the next point. The next point says that cost of stay in abroad. So this also is going to be you can take the sanction or approval from RBI that, sir, I am going to stay for 15 days or 20 days as recommended by the doctor or of the hospital, and for 20 days they are going to charge for staying some from $100 per day, example. Okay, $100 per day, and I can't go alone. I am taking along with me my wife also. So per person it is $100 per day. For 20 days it is $2,000, and for one person it is $2,000. For 2 persons it will be $4,000 plus eatables and all that stuff. So up to this limit, if you are getting exempt, you can get exemption if you take an permission, prior permission from RBI. Number 2. Number 3 is, now you can't go in bus or a train or an ordinary transport mode of transport from India to America. You have to take a flight. Now you can't go alone in the flight. You have to take your because of your medical condition. You are also going along with your dependent, like your brother or your wife or somebody else. So for this also you have to take the permission, sir, I am going along with my wife for getting my medical treatment. So up to 2, one is allowed along with you. One attendant is allowed along with you. One attendant will be allowed, and you have to take the prior permission from the RBI. Prior permission you have to take from RBI. So the summary is that RBI comes into picture many a times. Number 1. Number 2, you have to take the permission of RBI for medical treatment. You have to take the permission from RBI to stay for certain number of days along with one more attendant, because you can't go alone. And you have to take the permission from RBI for traveling expenditure incurred for you and for your the attendant along whom you are going. So if you have taken permission, then up to that limit it is fully exempted, and over and above it is fully taxable. For example, in all these cases, the government, the RBI has told that up to $150,000 I am permitting. $150,000 I am permitting. Now what has happened? You have spent $170,000 for all this put together. So in this case, $20,000 extra what you incurred, which is subsequently reimbursed by the employer. So this is going to be taxed because you got a permission from RBI for this amount only, but you have spent this much amount, and $20,000 extra you are incurring for your this, and this. So $20,000 into 75 rupees is also reimbursed along with this one by the employer. So 20,000 into 75, 15 lakh rupees is the value of the perquisite, and this is fully taxable. This is also fully taxable. This is fully taxable. So if you cross the limit as prescribed or allowed by RBI, then over and above whatever is approved by RBI is going to be fully taxable. Now, next, last one. Now, exempt only if the gross total. Now, this cost of travel. For there also the exemption is there is a limit. There is a clause. There is a rule. There is a regulation says that clause condition. This traveling expenditure condition exempt only if the gross total income of the employee computed before including this expenditure is rupees 2 lakhs or less. If the gross total income after including before including this expenditure on medical treatment is less than 2 lakh rupees, then the cost of travel will be exempted. Over and above it will be fully taxable. Okay, so we will not go into this particular except we can just ignore it, or you can study a lot on this one. Now, points to remember. The point here is medical facility may be provided to an employee or any member of his family. Not only, see, please remember that it's not the employee only who is getting the medical facility. This medical facility medical facility may be for the whole family of the employee. Now, when I'm talking about the whole family, it is his or her spouse, like wife or husband, maximum 2 children, and dependent parents, brothers and sisters. These people can get this kind of medical facilities. Okay, so when I'm talking about medical facility of an employee's family, now you have to remember the definition of employee for medical facility. One is spouse. Spouse means wife or husband. Number 2 is children. How many children they can get medical facility exemption? It is 2 children only. Number 2. Number 3, see, their dependent parents also may fall ill, so they can go to this private hospital or government hospital and they get the treatment. So this treatment, if it is subsequently reimbursed by the employer, so if the dependent parents are also getting medical treatment during the year, that amount also is to be considered. These people also have to be considered, and dependent brother and dependent sister. Next one is the first one, medical allowance. As already told, medical allowance is part of your salary, is a part of your salary component. And I told you allowance of the name fixed medical allowance is fully taxable. It is not a perquisite. Now, point to remember, number 1, health insurance premium paid by the employer in approved scheme of IRDA. IRDA is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. Now, yesterday I spoke, and in the last class I told the employer takes a group insurance policy for all the employees, and the premium is paid by the employer. So the benefit is for the employee, but he's taking a group insurance policy, or he's paying the health insurance policy premium in a scheme which is approved by central government or IRDA, then it is not taxable. It is fully exempted. There is no value attached to the perquisite. Next one. So these are the points. Just I have put it in a graphical method. You can just go through it. So medical treatment again. Now we are talking about the very, very important concept, which is another perquisite, which is called as accommodation provided by the employer to the employee. Accommodation provided by the employer to the employee. This is very important, and there are so many types of accommodations. Like I have just written over this place. Please look at this. So this particular topic is very important, because not only medical facilities available in the form of a perquisite, but also accommodation also is available, can be made available, and this accommodation is attached some value. some value. So let's speak at length. What do you mean by accommodation? What are the types of accommodations, and how is it taxable? How much is exempted? All that stuff, and how to find out the value of the perquisite. So the first one is, look at this. The first one is accommodation, which can be furnished or unfurnished. Now, for example, I am in Pune and I am transferred to Bangalore. I am transferred to Bangalore. Okay. So what is happening? Now here I had a house, but here I am not having a house because this is not my native place. Now I have to go over that place or search for a house, and there is an extra expenditure incurred for me. So in the salary component, they tell that okay, we are going to give you one flat to you, which may belong to the employer or the owner or not. You can stay over this place. This is called as accommodation provided by the employer to the employee. Okay, so what type of accommodation it can be? First one is furnished or unfurnished accommodation. Furnished or unfurnished accommodation. People who are in at a higher management level, for example, top level managers or senior level managers or directors, generally they will get a big flat or a bungalow along with huge amount of furniture in that particular accommodation, along with sweeper, cook, gardener, and many other things. I will tell you one small example. One of my friend is working in military, and he is given a big bungalow. Plus, he is given a car, a big four-wheeler. He is given a cook. He is given a cleaner, sweeper, and gardener. Along with that one, in the house, the bungalow, there are huge. The government has furnished that particular bungalow where the furniture runs into some 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, like sofa set, beds, TVs, refrigerator, utensils, air coolers, air conditioners, and many other things. Okay, heater, computer, laptop, because the nature of the job is like that. So here the type of accommodation is furnished accommodation. Here the type of example, in the example which I have just now mentioned, the example which I have mentioned, the type of accommodation is furnished accommodation. Whereas in the case of an ordinary employee, small employee who is working at the bottom of the pyramid, he's just given a small house without any furniture. So now please remember that when you are given furniture along with accommodation, so you are getting two advantages: accommodation plus furniture. So you have to find out the value of this. You have to find out the value of this because both are the benefits which are accrued by the employee. So you have to find out the value of the accommodation, and subsequently you have to find out the value of the furniture, and then you have to find out 10% and add to this one. Okay, we will do some problems at the time, you will understand. Next one is rent or rent-free accommodation or concessional accommodation. Now what do you mean by this? Now this is a big house in Bombay where I am given to settle down. So this accommodation is provided by the employer to the employee. Now generally in Bombay the rents are very high, and for this kind of a particular house or a flat of 3 BHK and other features, the rent which is charged by general tenant owners are 30,000 per month. 30,000 per month. Now there are two types of accommodations. Already we have seen this. Now another set is, this particular house I will go and stay. I will not pay anything. This particular accommodation is provided to me rent free. Means I am not going to pay single paise to the employer. The employer is not charging me anything. Not charging me anything. On the contrarian, rent free ka opposite hai concessional. Now, what is the rent? If the owner could have rented out to a third party who is independent, he could have charged 30,000 rupees per month. Now, in my case, he tells that you just pay me 5,000 rupees per month. 5,000 rupees per month. So, how much is the concession he has given? 25,000 rupees per month is the concession he has given. So, there can be accommodation of rent free where nothing is charged, or there can be accommodation of nominal charges, like the real value, the fair value, rental value of this particular house is, or a flat or accommodation is 30,000 per month, but he has charged only 5,000 per month, and this 5,000 is deducted directly deducted directly from the salary. So in place of 30,000 rupees, I am just paying 5,000 rupees, and the concession is 25,000 rupees I am getting, or discount I am getting. So this is what is the advantage I got. So we have to find out the value of it, and then we'll calculate how much tax and all that stuff. So just I'm telling you the types of accommodations. I'm just telling you the types of accommodation. The first one is furnished accommodation. The second one is unfurnished accommodation. The third one is rent-free accommodation. The fourth one is concessional accommodation. The fifth one is furnished rent-free accommodation. The sixth one is furnished concessional accommodation. The seventh one is unfurnished rent-free accommodation, and the eighth one is unfurnished concessional rent accommodation. So there is a combination of the first and second. Hope you have understood this. First one is furnished accommodation. Second one is unfurnished accommodation. Third one is rent-free accommodation. Fourth one is concessional accommodation. Fifth one is combination of furnished plus rent-free. Sixth one is furnished plus concessional. Seventh one is unfurnished plus rent-free, and the eighth one is unfurnished and concessional. So you have a combinations like this. Now third set of accommodation is accommodation is owned by the employer, or the employer is taking this accommodation on rent from the third party. Now I told you just now an example of Bombay. From Pune, I was transferred to Bombay. Okay, and the employee is new to Bombay, and he doesn't have any house over that place. So I asked my employer, please provide me with an accommodation. Okay, he told him okay, and he located he had his own accommodation, a 3 BHK, and told that go and stay over this place. So what type of accommodation this is? A accommodation which is the one, this particular flat belongs to the employer, and the owner is the employer. So this can be the case. Or this is a very small company and they don't have their own flats. The flat is taken on rent from a third party, and so the third party is paying to the third party 30,000 rupees per month. So this is the rent paid by the employer to the third party, because the accommodation doesn't belong to the employer. So this is hired by the employer or rented out by the employer from a third party. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and combinations you can think about. Next one is, if you look at the next one, this accommodation can be provided by government or not. For example, Supreme Court judge is there. So, or a military man is there, or a DSP is there, or an IAS officer is there. So government provides them an accommodation. So this is the fourth one. Next one is whether provided in a hotel or not. So the fifth one is provided in a hotel. For example, I am transferred from Pune to Bangalore, and the owner is the employer is not having a accommodation. Neither I am neither I am familiar with Bangalore, so I don't also have an accommodation. So for 10 or 15 days, it tells that you stay in a hotel in Bangalore. So after this, I will provide you with an rent-free accommodation or accommodation. So this is the case where the accommodation is provided in a hotel. So up to 15 days, it can be provided in a hotel. Over and above, it can't be provided. Then the value has to be found out, and that is taxable. So computation of taxable value of those house assuming unfurnished and rent-free. So first, what you have to do, if you want to find out the value of the accommodation, first you have to treat that it is a rent-free accommodation, number one. Number two, it is unfurnished accommodation without furniture. And to this, you have to add furniture value into 10%. We'll do some problems at that time, you will understand it. Now, just understand the types of accommodations. So the first 5 accommodations are understood, I hope. Now, next one, if accommodation is provided by government, now we are going into the details. Now, we are going into the details of how to calculate the value of the perquisite. Now, look at the first case. If you look at the first case, if house accommodation is owned by government and provided to employee. For example, I told you there is a judge, Supreme Court judge, and the Supreme Court judge is in Bombay, for example, and is given a big bungalow. Okay, so this particular bungalow belongs to government. So if house accommodation is owned by government and provided to its employees, the taxable value shall be the license fees determined by union or state government in respect of such accommodation, etc., etc. I will just give another example. Okay, with that you will understand. With that you will understand. Now, for example, there is a company by name Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. It is a government. It's a government of India. Government of India company. Government of India company. Okay, this is a company which belongs to Government of India. Near about 51% of the equity share capital belongs to more than 50%. 51% of the equity share capital belongs to the Government of India, and the shares are in the name of President of India. Please remember this. So automatically, this is a company which belongs to Government of India. And look at this: union government or state government. Now, this person, Mr. X, is working in BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited. This person, Mr. X, is working in Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Mr. X is working in Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Mr. X. So Mr. X is working here, and this is the factory. This is the factory, and around the factory there is a land, and on this land there are so many quarters. Quarters means houses, which are meant for the employee. They can go with their family and stay over this place, and they can stay till the time they are working in the organization. So the accommodation is provided by the union government or state government to its employees, and this particular quarters or rooms or houses or apartments are owned by the government of the central government or the union government. Then the value of this perquisite is determined by one particular method is called as license fees. Please look, I am highlighting it, license fees. Now, license fees, how it is calculated, what is the method of calculation, we need not go into those particular aspects, but assume that Mr. X is given a accommodation in BHEL in this particular room or apartment of 3 BHK or 2 BHK. And we came to know from our past data, the license fees is of 2,000 rupees per month. 2,000 rupees per month. So the license fees is the answer to the value of the perquisite. So the value of the perquisite or the value of the facility or the value of the facility provided by the employer to the employee is equal to the license fees, and the license fees in this case is 2,000 rupees per month. So the value of the perquisite is 24,000 for the full year, and this is fully taxable. This is fully taxable. Please just remember, whenever there is a government which comes into picture and the employee is in a government employee and the house belongs to the government, and the employee is residing in the government government quarters, then the value of the perquisite is equal to just one word, license fees of that particular accommodation. License fees of that particular accommodation they will give directly in the examination or in the problem. You need not calculate, just they will tell the license fees of this particular apartment or quarter or house is to 2,000 rupees per month. So 2,000 rupees per month into number of months for which he has stayed. If he has stayed in that particular house for 6 months, 12,000 rupees is the value of the perquisite, which is added to the gross salary, and it is taxable. If he has stayed over that place for 8 months, 2,000 rupees into 8 months is equal to 16,000 rupees is the value of the perquisite. If he has stayed for there in that apartment or quarter for 9 months, 2,000 rupees into 9 is the value of the perquisite. 18,000 rupees will be added to the gross salary, and this is taxable. This is taxable. Hope you have understood it. Hope you have understood it. So in case of government employee getting accommodation in a house or accommodation is provided by the government in their own quarters, then the value of the perquisite is just one word, license fees. So license fees will be determined, and then it will be given in the examination in the question paper. Next one is rent-free official residence provided to judge, high court judge, and Supreme Court judge. So Supreme Court judge and high court judge, they are given bungalows, and the value of that perquisite is 0 because they are all big shots. They are big people, and they are working for the government. They are in the top level. So even though they are provided a bungalow which is furnished, and they are not charging anything, as they are nominated people, they are eminent people, and these eminent people are high court judges or Supreme Court judge. Nothing is taxable. The value of the perquisite is 0. Value of perquisite is 0. Just remember it. Value of perquisite is 0. Next one is rent-free accommodation given to an parliamentarian or union minister or leader of opposition. So leader of opposition, MPs are given accommodation. For them also the value of the perquisite is zero. Value of this uh, accommodation or perquisite is also there is nil. Nothing is taxable. It is considered to be free. So with this background, we'll go into the most important one. Now your headache starts. Now your headache starts. Now very important. Now we have just now seen about government. We have seen about central government, state government, and parliamentarians and and we saw about opposition party politicians who are nominated to parliament. So we have just now seen. So in case of judges, nothing is taxable, but in case of other employees who are government, I told you about license fees. So that is the value of the accommodation. Now look at this column, which is furniture. So furniture is equal to the value. So here not only a house accommodation is provided, but along with the house accommodation, furniture also is provided. Furniture, for example, sofa set, bed, two beds, dining room, dining table, sofa set, teapot, television, air conditioner, and other things. So those comes into the category of furniture. It is a furnished house, we call it. So he is getting this advantage as well as this advantage also. House also is getting along with furniture. So value of the house is license fees. Just now we have determined. But what about the furniture? So he is getting a double advantage. So then how to calculate the value of the furniture? So the value of the furniture is equal to, just you have to multiply the value of the furniture with 10%. With the 10%. Now what does it mean? It means that if the furniture value provided by the employer to the employee is some 5 lakh rupees, so he's enjoying this benefit. So we have to find out the value of this perquisite, because he should be taxed. So how much is that value of that perquisite? You have to just multiply 10% per annum. So 5 lakhs is the value of the furniture into 10% is equal to 50,000 rupees. That is the value of the furniture. That is the value of the furniture, and that is the value of the perquisite for the full year. So just you have to multiply the value of the furniture into 10% for the full year, and you will get to know the value of the perquisite in the form of furniture. So in this case, I took an example, and the example tells that the value of the furniture provided by the employer to the employee is some 5 lakh rupees. So multiply this 5 lakh rupees into 10% per annum. Into 10% per annum. Now the value of the perquisite in the form of furniture or furnished accommodation along with furniture, and furniture in particular, is 50,000 rupees. And now I am using the word 10% per annum because, see, the value is to be considered 10% if the house is used or the furniture used for the full year. If it's using the furniture for only 6 months, then 10% into 6 by 12 will come into picture. If the furniture was purchased in between the year and the furniture is used by him for only 5 months, so you can't charge him to tax for, you can't add the full value of the perquisite. Just you have to this 10% into number of months for which it is provided by 12 months. That's the reason why I used per annum. Per annum is 10%. If it is used for 50% of that time, then 5 by 2, 6 by 12, half month, half year. That is the meaning of it. Now, hope you have understood it. Now, next one is, so we have just now talked about the government employees, the judge, the parliamentarians, and the opposition parliamentarians. But what is happening is, many a times private employees also are getting accommodation, which is unfurnished accommodation or furnished accommodation. For example, Tata Motors is there, and Tata Motors are having quarters, like they have got 5,000 quarters where the employees are staying in those quarters. So they are rent-free accommodations or concessional rent accommodation. So you have to find out the value to it. So how do you find out the value of this perquisite? How do you find out the value of the perquisite in case of other employees? That is, I'm referring to private employees. So this was about government employees. Now we are talking about other employees, other than state government, union government employees. So where accommodation is provided by the employer and owned by the employer, or accommodation is provided by the employer to the employee, and this particular accommodation doesn't belong to the employer, but it belongs to a third party from whom this employer has taken on rent. So there are two conditions again. Okay, ये खुद के घर है, ये घर उनका खुद का नहीं है, एम्प्लॉयर का, उसने थर्ड पार्टी से लोन के ऊपर, सॉरी रेंट के ऊपर लिया. तो विल touch upon this point now. We'll talk about when the accommodation belongs to the employer and employer is giving this accommodation either rent free to the employee or concessional rent, then what is the value of the perquisite? Then what is the value of the perquisite? So let's see one by one. So the first, very, very important, you have to remember exactly what it is. What it is. Okay. So here, the first one is 15% of salary, the value of the perquisite. In case of in case of furnished accommodation is 15% or 10% or 7.5% of salary. So 15%, 10%, 7.5% of salary. Now there is a doubt to you, sir. How did you? What is the difference between 15%, 10%, and 7.5%? It is nothing but, see, if the population where you are working and where the accommodation provided is more than 25 lakhs, 25 lakhs or more, so the value of the accommodation provided to you, unfurnished accommodation provided to you by the employer to the employee is 15% of salary. For example, मैं बॉम्बे में हूँ, मेरे को हाउस दिया है, मैं बॉम्बे में हूँ और बॉम्बे में हाउस दिया है, तो मेरा, and I am working in a private employment, so the population of Bombay is more than 25 lakhs. This also will be given in the problem. The population of Bombay is some 50 lakhs. So the first condition is applicable. What is that condition? 15% of salary is the value of the perquisite, value of the unfurnished accommodation. So 15% of salary. Now, what do you mean by salary? In the next slide, there is the meaning of the word salary, and I will tell you one by one. I will just recap it for here also. Salary includes basic salary plus DA, if DA is forming a part of retirement benefits, plus bonus, plus commission, plus fees, plus taxable allowances. I am using the word plus taxable allowances, plus monetary benefits provided by the employer to the employee, and you should not take into account any perquisite. So the next slide is showing you, and you can look for yourself. Now another condition is there. So 10% of salary. Now what do you mean by 10% of salary? For example, Sitesh is got a job in Aurangabad, and he's not familiar with Aurangabad, and he's forced to take up the job in Aurangabad where he doesn't have any house. The employer tells that you go and stay in my quarter or my accommodation. I'm providing you accommodation. So he is not paying any rent, for example. So he's getting some benefit of this particular accommodation. So the benefit of this accommodation is how much? It depends upon the population. And this Siddesh is working in private employment. So first and foremost, you have to find out how much is the population of Aurangabad, and I assume it is 20. For example, I assume it is 12 lakhs. Now it is in the second category, which is in between the place where you are provided with the employment and where you are provided with an accommodation. The population is 12 lakhs, falls in the second category, in between 10 to 15 lakhs, and the value of the perquisite is 10% of salary. 10% of salary. Now, so for what you have to remember, 15% in case if the population is more than 25 lakhs. If the population is in between 10 to 25 lakhs, then it is 10% of the salary, the value of the perquisite. And in case if the population is less than 10 lakhs, then the value of the perquisite is 7.5% of the salary. So in this case, Aurangabad is having a population of 12 lakhs, which falls under the second category. So the taxable value of the perquisite is 10% of the salary. So 10% सैलरी कितना है उसका 10% लेना है, और उसके ऊपर वो ग्रॉस सैलरी में जाएगा, उसके ऊपर आपको टैक्स में इंक्लूजन किया जाएगा और टैक्स पे करना है. तो सैलरी क्या है? सैलरी अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग, सैलरी इज बेसिक सैलरी plus DA if DA is taken into consideration for the calculation of determined benefits. Number 2, and number 3 is bonus. Number 4 is commission. Number 5 is fees. Number 6 is taxable part of allowance. I am again stressing the word taxable part of allowance. I am again stressing the word taxable part of allowance. And any monetary expenditure of the employee is done by the employer, and you should not include any other perquisites. Okay, when we do the problem, you will understand it. Now, third case. Now, for example, Akshata Khadse has got a job in a place like Nagar, Ahmednagar, or in an interior place in Ahmednagar, which is a small village, and the employment is a private employment. Now, for example, Nagar है, अपना नगर में एक छोटा सा village है, उसे job मिला, और she is new to this particular place. She is new to this particular place, and she asked for a accommodation. Okay, so the accommodation is provided by the private employer to this employee. Now the population of this particular village is 2 lakh units, 2 lakh population. So automatically it will not go here, it will not go here. The value of the perquisite comes in and falls under this category, where the population is less than 10 lakhs, means it is 2 lakhs. So the value of the perquisite or the accommodation, unfurnished accommodation, the value is 7.5% per annum. Per annum, 7.5%. This 15% is per annum for 12 months. Agar 12 months rehte hai, to okay, please remember this is very important. So 7.5%, because the population is less than 10 lakhs and it is 2 lakhs. So the value of the perquisite or the accommodation is 7.5% of salary. Salary, for the purpose, I'm repeating the third time, basic salary, DA if DA is forming the part of retirement benefits, plus bonus, plus fees, plus commission, plus taxable part of allowances, any monetary benefits, monetary payment made by the employer by the employee, that is to be taken into consideration, and nothing apart from this is to be taken into consideration for calculation of salary. So hope you have understood it, and once we are doing a problem, you will I am sure that you will be able to understand it thoroughly. I am sure that you are going to understand it thoroughly. But again, I'm just to overcome the element of confusion, I'm clearing it. The point. So just pay attention. So this particular part I will explain. This particular part I have explained. Now in Bombay I am there, and it is 15% of salary. But this is a first one is unfurnished. Now this house was provided with furniture. To add furniture value to this 15%, furniture value 5 lakhs, for example, and add to it 5 lakhs into 10% if the furniture is the furniture provided by the employer to the employee. So if 550,000 rupees. So you got furnished value, accommodation value, and you got and the value of the furniture also. So you have to calculate this too if the furniture also is provided by the employer to the employee. Now last one of accommodation. This part we are going to discuss. So this part we are going to discuss. Now here the owner was whom the employer had their own. He's a very big shot person, and all these accommodations were belonging to the employer. But sometimes what happens, as I already told, employer is a very poor person. He doesn't have his own houses, so he will take these houses from third party on rent or lease rent, and then he will tell the employer to stay over that place. So where the accommodation is provided by the employer to the employee, and this accommodation doesn't belong to the employer, and is taken on lease or rental by the employer from the third party. So from the third party. तो इस केस में ये रूल तो अप्लाई नहीं होगा, ये रूल नहीं अप्लाई होगा, तो ये रूल अप्लाई होगा. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस रूल? जो भी ये जो थर्ड पार्टी को 15,000 पर मंथ का पेमेंट कर रहा है समझो, सो that is the value of the perquisite. Actual amount of lease rental paid or payable by the employer. Number one, this is one point. Up to this one point. Number two, 15% of salary. In दोनों में से 15% of salary, and reduce it by the rent paid by the employee. Okay. So just for the time being, we will not take into account this one because calculations will go heavy. So I will just explain again this very important element. You can keep it in mind. You have to be very thoroughly understanding it. Okay, just a moment. I'm just clearing all your doubts. Don't worry. Now, so in this case, Mr. Reliance Industries is there, RIL is there, and he is providing to X apartment which is not owned by the Reliance Industries, but it is taken from a third party. And in this case, the third party is charging for this accommodation, which is given to the employee, some 20,000 rupees per month. So 20,000 per month. So the first point says that actual amount of lease rental paid by the employer to the third party. So 20,000 per month. ये आपको substitute करना into number of months for which it is equal to 12 months, for example. And subsequently there is a word or a calculate करना 15% of the salary of the employee. So 15% means what? Again, salary for the purpose is already I told, basic salary plus DA plus commission plus bonus plus fees plus taxable part of allowance, and you should not take into account any other thing like perquisites, etc., but you have to take into account whatever are the monetary expenses of the employee paid by the employer, that you have to take into account. The last one is very important, and last one I will just skip this one. Accommodation is provided by the employer to the employee in a hotel. मैंने बोला कभी कभी कैसा होता है, एम्प्लॉयर आके एम्प्लॉय को जल्दी जाने को बोलता है, and he doesn't have an accommodation, and he asks the employer asks the employee to stay in a hotel for a certain period of time. So in this case, if it is more than 15 days, if he's staying in the hotel, then he is getting some value. That value is 20%, 24% of the salary, or actual amount paid by the employer to the hotel. Among them, whichever is the lower, that has to be taken into account for the purpose of calculation of the rent, the hotel accommodation. So all this, so this is, you can take a snapshot of it, this, and up to 10 lakhs 7.5%, up to about 10 lakhs to 25 lakhs it is 10% of salary for a private employee, and about 25 lakhs it is 15% of salary. And I have written the meaning of the word salary. Salary means basic salary plus DA, if DA is forming a part of retirement benefits, plus bonus, plus commission, plus fees, plus taxable part of allowances. We'll see when I'm talking about the numerical problems when we are doing, you will understand it. So how to calculate that, you will understand it. And then all the mandatory benefits paid by the employer of the employee, that but non-monetary or purposes should not be taken into account. So again, I have written all this meaning of the salary. Hope you have understood it. And tomorrow, when we are joining, we'll do a problem on this. With this, I will end. And thank you so much for listening to me. And God bless you. And thank you so much. Just a moment before you. The today's code is 518. Today's code is 518.